Hi ladies, how are you? Today I want to talk to you about red flags in a relationship. So before I even go into what are some of the major, most important red flags in relationships that you need to pay attention to, I want to start with explaining what are red flags. Red flags, or what some people call the deal breakers, are signs that you might see in your relationship that tell you shouldn't take things further. Basically, a red flag means danger. And just by the indication of the name, it means you have to stop. So when I talk about red flags in a relationship, I mean something that your partner does that indicate lack of respect, lack of integrity, or lack of interest in you or in the relationship itself. As I said, a red flag can also be referred to as a deal breaker. And it's important to say that I don't just mean new relationships, not just dating someone and noticing these signs that I'm going to talk about in a moment, but also in your existing relationship. If you're in a relationship even for 10 or 20 years and you're going to see some of the signs and you're going to recognize them from your own home, it's important to stop and ask yourself, is this the deal breaker? So I want to break down what are some of the major red flags in a relationship to be noticed. The first one is actually abusive behavior. It's one of the most important ones, and it refers to physical harm, insulting, yelling, intimidating, criticism thrown at you. Your partner might say they don't mean it, but this type of behavior is something that shouldn't be tolerated, shouldn't be rationalized, and shouldn't be existing in a relationship. It's a type of behavior that shouldn't be excused. It's plain abusive. It's important to say, any kind of abuse, emotional, psychological, verbal, or physical, is a major deal breaker. The second deal breaker is not being yourself around your partner. Do you find yourself fitting in to their expectations? Do you find yourself changing a lot? Are you adjusting, changing your behavior, wanting to say the right thing, always overthinking about what you're saying and what it's going to mean? It's going to be a cliche to say you is enough, but it's true. You shouldn't change yourself for someone. It's great to make adjustments, and it's great when it goes both ways. When your partner does change things for you and you change for them, but if you're changing too much, if you're scared of acting the way you want to act, and if you're changing the core of who you are, then you need to stop and you need to see this is a major red flag. Another red flag is what I call controlling behaviors. Do you feel like your partner is trying to control where you're going, who you're going with, what you're wearing, what you're doing, what time you do it at? Do you find yourself distancing from your family and your friends and loved ones? It's important to say it's not just distancing completely from your loved ones, but do you find yourself limited in the type of relationship that you have with them? Do you feel guilty for talking to them? This is also a major red flag to be noticed. The fourth red flag is disrespect and criticism. It can start when you notice a change in your self-esteem. Do you feel criticized by your partner in a constant way? Do you feel like they're putting you down, or they deny your emotions or your feelings? Do you feel like your partner is putting you down, maybe undermining you? Maybe they deny what you're feeling. Either way, whatever they do, the main thing you're going to notice is your self-esteem lowering. You're going to feel less and less good about yourself. This is a very important point to stop. Disrespect and criticism is being used to control you. When you feel down, you need someone to trust, and you need someone to elevate you, and you need someone to feel great with. And this is how they start controlling you. This is how they start abusing, actually. I talked about it in a video I did in the past about gaslighting and the methods that people use to control other people. I'm going to link it up here so you can go watch it. But this is an important one. You shouldn't feel criticized all the time. You shouldn't feel like your self-esteem is low. The fifth sign is anger and rage. And yes, it's completely okay to be mad, to be angry, to feel upset sometimes. But if you find yourself in your relationship walking on eggshells, scared of saying anything or maybe doing something, it's not a good point to be at. Remember that you shouldn't be scared of being in your relationship. You should be free to do whatever you want. Even if it bothers your partner, you can talk about it in a healthy way. You can discuss the situation, and they can do the same when they do something that upsets you. And that's the key with the relationship, communication. But using fear, abusive behavior, and intimidation, that's just wrong. A sixth sign is they won't compromise. Do you find yourself in the relationship always doing things their way? They won't change their behavior. They won't change their mind. Everything has to be the way they want it to be. If you find yourself being the one that always has to compromise, if you feel like you're the one that's doing that all the time, you need to ask yourself some serious questions. I'm saying that because compromise is part of a good, healthy relationship, but it has to go both ways. And it doesn't mean it's going to be 50-50. There are going to be times you're going to compromise more and times your partner is going to compromise more, but it can't just be that one side is adjusting and compromising and the other one is just doing things their way. One of the biggest red flags I've noticed is if you find your family and friends telling you they don't like your partner, or they don't agree with your partner, or asking you questions about your partner. When we're in love and in a relationship, even if we have all these red flags, it's hard to stop. And when our family or friends or people who love us talk to us about it, we usually get very defensive and we push away anything they might say. But I have to be honest, it's a good point to stop. Ask yourself, what are they talking about? Have I felt it? Maybe they have something. They have a point in what they're saying. The last and probably the most important red flag is your gut. If you feel it in your gut, you know something is wrong, you have to start trusting yourself. You know this pit in your stomach that you just know something is going to happen or something is off? Listen to it. If you feel like you're in a bad relationship, if you feel like something is not the way it should be, then you should stop. You should notice the signs and you should listen to yourselves. Our instincts are strong and they know what is good for us. Only you know what you deserve, what you want for yourself, how much you deserve to be loved. There are many more signs and we can break down each sign to even 10 more signs. But these are some of the major ones that should be noticed. And you have to remember, nobody deserves to be treated poorly in a relationship. You shouldn't be there just to elevate someone else's self-esteem. You should have a healthy and a beautiful relationship where you challenge each other, not hurt each other, where you push yourself and the other to be a better you, but in a healthy way, not in an abusive, diminishing way. So before I go, I just want to remind you, if you found yourself in any of the signs and you feel like you can't quit or leave a relationship, don't hesitate to talk to someone, a family member, a good friend, or a professional. Don't stay where you're not being appreciated. You deserve more. So I'm so happy you came here today, and I hope it gave you something. And I'm going to be here next week, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button so you can get notified whenever I upload new videos. And until the next time, stay well, stay safe. Bye.